Hi there. If you're new to my sessions, these are the key takeaways you can expect. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages, both current and the near term, both in the weekly and daily time frame. Also key price levels where peak will find support or resistance, plus any breakout timing that the price actions are telling us. So let's start with the weekly chart. This is how peak looked like at the moment. Previously, we were expecting a sign of strength. However, the October 10th event has kind of made this vanish. I would say this is still like a partial sign of strength sign, but we want to see something more solid. So let's move this back to later in the timeline. And even though the price has come down, it hasn't come to as low a point as we had during July all the way into early September, that test period. Likewise for second test during mid-June. So this over here, there's 35% chance for the price to come back to retest the red level. I'll say even though it's low, it's still here. So I'll still keep it there for now. And about the course adjustment, when we get to the daily chart, we'll see it clearer over there. The volume themselves, last week the volume has declined, which is probably a good sign because it seems like it's stabilizing at that orange key level of 9 cents. Hope that continues and regain traction so it heads towards the sign of strength before eventually entering the new distribution cycle. And again, the best is for peak to re-challenge the purple key level of 65 cents or maybe go even higher than that. That proves to the community, the diamond hands, or even speculators that peak has long-term investment value. Again, before going to the daily, I'm switching on this Bollinger Band corner squeeze indicator just to take a look. And I would say started on the week of October 6th, meaning the week that the tariff event happened. We have officially entered the squeeze. The indicator hasn't shown the patch at the back yet because the purple line at the bottom isn't within the orange. But that if the price continues to trade sideways between the orange key level and the red key level, or even the low range over here, as long as the price is trading along the orange key level, we will technically get into a squeeze. And when that happens, a bigger price swing will eventually show up when the squeeze force get released. So that's the big picture. Let's get to the daily. So the trend has been broken. This uptrend has been broken. And a sign of weakness, multiple sign of weaknesses has showed up, assuming that was a mini distribution cycle that happened within the daily time frame. Okay, these are what the yellow tags are indicating. So we have gone through the preliminary supply stage and then the buying climax back in September on the 21st. And then eventually automatic reaction, second test, and sign of weaknesses at the end of September, and also the one we had just on October 11th. So if that's the case, instead of being a backup at last point of supply, we've gone through this mini distribution cycle that is going to get us into potentially a selling climax somewhere around the red, if it is really coming. If this over here isn't a selling climax, which that can be instead of another SOW. That can be the PSY period. I should do this instead. Not PSY, sorry, PS, preliminary support. This horizontal this drop plus the horizontal area may be the preliminary support instead of a sign of weakness. And what happened just 3 days ago on Friday was the selling climax. That can potentially be the case. And what we're going through now may be an automatic rally from this selling climax over here. So previously we had the selling climax back in June, the same year, okay? And then that's the automatic rally, early July. And then the subsequent test after a sign of strength. Okay, remember this time when we go through the same, the selling climax doesn't necessarily mean it's the lowest point. Subsequent tests can get to even lower levels just to shake out small fishes, the whales. They shake out the panic people and then that pushes the price up. So now we have this different trend going on. Because previously I was trying to see if we adjust the course this is how it looks like. It reminds me of the song of the K-pop Demon Hunters. What it sounds like. This is what it looks like. Okay, so basically from the previous narrower uptrend, we have a widening trading zone towards the upside. Hopefully it doesn't come back down to the red. Then when that happens, we can completely scrap this channel box. So let's observe what's going to happen in the next week or so, because that would be the time if this downtrend exists. What would happen is that we are heading towards a point when, if the price doesn't break above the orange key level, assuming it trades sideways for the next few days, alright? Essentially when we get to next Saturday, or not actually next Saturday, coming Saturday, it's going to hit the ceiling of this downtrend box. When that happens, the likelihood of it bouncing downwards to challenge the red key level will get higher. So let's see what's going to happen for the next 5 to 6 days when we get to next weekend. Is it going to go outside and tell us this is not the downtrend? This is going to prove, the breakout is going to prove this downtrend does not exist. If it really bounces from that point, that's around 9 cents where the orange key level is, then that means we have to observe this box going forward, at least for a short period of time. Okay, and also when that happens, there is a breakout time point here near the end of this month by early November. It should, if it's bullish, breaks outside of this downtrend and start some kind of horizontal trading, much like what happened earlier this year. But if it heads to the downside, there's no reference point whatsoever. You see there's no reference price in PEAQ's history if the price continues with this downtrend box after the red key level. Okay, that's the most risky part about PEAQ and a couple of other altcoins right now. They seem to be still like kind of stabilizing within the previous lows, but then when the price breaks below those points, it's no reference zone. So that's the picture, and that's it for PEAQ today. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next session.